or are they going to see me as a guy who just ruined everything for everybody, made stuff stressful for other people, was very disrespectful and dismissive and harmful to others? How are they going to feel about that? What skills do I leave? Did I teach a few things along the way? I can say I'm very, very proud of the fact that I've met thousands of you on my trips all throughout the world that have told me that things I taught you changed your life. And it didn't just change your life, it changed the way you're raising your children. And that makes me super proud. That makes me super proud that everybody has these little personal biases, maybe that we have our voids we have to fill. All of us do. I think that being black in America especially is difficult because you've gone through a lot. So one of my voids was that I kind of wished I'd had more kids. I wish I'd taken more time to just really, like, if I could do it over again, I definitely would have had, I would have had 100 children, not 100, maybe more, not 100, maybe more like 5 kids, and I would have been happy to live on like a compound or a farm with my little five, me and my wife and my 5 children, and homeschooled them and ran the family business together, and that would have been cool. So I didn't get to do that, right? I didn't do that. Why didn't I do that? Well, I didn't do that because, like a lot of people that were somewhat ambitious, I got into career, and I don't know who in the hell taught us that a job is more important than our family and our lives and everything else. I mean, I've seen people who sacrifice everything for a job. Have you ever seen people like that? People that, you get in your 40s and 50s and you ain't got nothing around you going on in terms of connections to other human beings, but you have this like really important job. It's a job, dude. Like, somebody made that thing up, and they're gonna replace you when you die at your desk. They're gonna replace you in about a week. They're gonna literally be their first thought's gonna be, "Oh man, Jack died." Then they're gonna be like, "Oh man, we need to replace Jack immediately." That's what they're gonna do. And how do I know this? Well, I told you all yesterday the story about when I came to the faculty of Syracuse, and there was a really hardworking man in my office right before me who died. And once he died, the practical reality was that the chairman said, we really need a replacement because he's got classes to teach this fall and there's nobody to teach the class. So that was the job for me. I'm like, oh, I'll teach the class, right? Do you see what I mean? Like, that job. I'm not saying that jobs are bad. I'm not saying that jobs aren't necessary for many of us. I don't think that, honestly, they're not if you make a generational plan, just so you know. But we think on a higher level here. But then what I'll say is, how important is the job, right? How important is the career? And who told us that really defines you? Did you all know that if you leave America and you go to some other countries, like you go to Europe or the Caribbean or parts of Africa, they don't really do what Americans do. Americans, we meet each other. What's the first question that people ask each other when they're trying to break the ice and get to know each other? What is typically the first? Put it in the chat. I'll let you know if I see it. What do you think is like one of the first questions people ask? There you go. Thank you, Barbara. What do you do? What do you do? Like that job really defines you. They don't. I didn't learn till I left to went to other countries. They don't really do that in other countries. They don't sit around and define themselves by their job. That's America. America is an industrial powerhouse because they have what's the word? They have convinced us that this capitalist thing is worth sacrificing our lives. They convinced us that getting up and going to work every day defines your character and defines your self-worth and who you are, and we do that to each other. We'll say, well, he ain't nothing because he ain't working. And now, mind you, I don't think laziness is ever going to work for you. I don't think laziness is a good value to carry around. But I do think that there are so many other things that are more important than what you do every day or what job you have. And so, anyway, I didn't have a lot of kids because I was working. I was really into my profession, really into. I would write research papers every single day. I was really pushing and all this other stuff, and so I was like, gosh, I kind of want to. I like kids, and so I married a woman that had 3 kids, and that was a blessing to me. That was like an extra gift. I love my wife. I would have married her even if she didn't have kids, but the fact that she had 3 kids was like really like awesome because it wasn't. I was past the stage where money was going to be a big deal. I see guys that say, "Well, I can't afford to take care of your kids. Your kids cost too much." I don't. It's like, yeah, we can all go to Burger King. It's okay. It's going to cost $26 instead of costing like 12, but we can still all go to Burger King, and that's okay, you know. But you have to be at a certain point in your life to feel comfortable with that, right? But with that being said, also, I just enjoyed the blessing of pouring into them and teaching them and being there for them, and just knowing that I made somebody's life better. That was really cool. But then also the bigger part is when I talk to you, like when I talk to you and you tell me, "Oh, we're doing things this way in our family because of something that you said," or "My kids are now educated on economics at the age of 10, because of whatever." That really gets me. That's really what excites me. That fills a void for me, and I'm listening to you very carefully because what I'm seeing is something that they call in economics. They call this the ripple effect. The ripple effect is where you don't just see what person A is doing. You see how person A's behavior affects person B, person C, person D, and person E. See, this is how good things spread, and this is how bad things spread. This is how healthy habits get passed from generation to generation. This is how toxic habits get spread. This is how trauma gets spread. There's a really good movie called Smile that I suggest that you consider going to see.